What you just saw came from the Too Many Games Expo, where Cosplay Pro Wrestling rolled in for their 9th year. Big thanks goes out to Naptuku from Twitter for creating that video and recording that video for us. Also, big thanks goes out to Heaven's Hero for creating this video. And also a big thanks goes out to Drake Thoreau for this version. Thank you to all three for those great videos. If you want to catch up on all that went down at the Too Many Games Expo, these are going to be rolled out match by match over on the Cosplay Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. So check out CPW's YouTube and you can catch up on all the crazy ongoing of both days at the Too Many Games Expo. In any case, Scott Holiday here. This is Plus 2 Wrestling. Let me climb on my soapbox. So this video was supposed to come out a few days ago, a few weeks ago, but I've spent the last 2 weekends without power. So that makes it really hard to record and even harder to edit and impossible to upload. So it's coming out now, and I feel bad that this is coming out after the Money in the Bank premium live event, because that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank, because whenever I was on my phone just kind of scrolling through YouTube, I kept seeing the same types of videos keep popping up. And that was things saying that the stipulation of Money in the Bank is dead, and that the briefcase is now boring and repetitive, because we've had Money in the Bank for a while now. We're now at the point where we have 2 briefcases a year, and there's only so many things you can do with it that it's just us waiting for one of the 3 things that can inevitably happen with the briefcase happens. And I couldn't disagree more. I think the stipulation of Money in the Bank and the briefcase is one of the least explored concepts currently in the WWE. So I thought I'd break it down for you. Here are 5 concepts with the Money in the Bank briefcase that have yet to be explored. Number 1, let it expire. Now we know what the stipulation is for Money in the Bank. Winning the briefcase guarantees you a title shot anywhere at any time for up to 1 year. And I believe the record for longest time holding that briefcase is Carmella. But I find it very interesting that we've never gotten to the point where it might expire. I think you could tell a very interesting story with that. Like, what if Naomi, let's say, won the briefcase? And Naomi's talking this big game about how she is a future world champion, and time just keeps ticking and ticking and ticking. She just keeps not cashing in. And then it'll slowly start to dawn on everybody, oh, she's afraid of screwing it up. She's always come kind of this close to being the top tier of the women's division, but she's always beaten back down. And a blown Money in the Bank cash-in, that would really cement her as the top of the bottom and not really part of the top echelon of the women's division. So is she going to cash in, or is she too afraid? That is a great story to tell. I also think they missed an opportunity a few years back when Mr. Ken Kennedy held the briefcase and he got injured. And what they ended up doing was they had him drop the briefcase to Edge so Edge could cash in on The Undertaker, who was also injured. But I think you could have told a really good story of Kennedy at home with the briefcase, desperately trying to rehab his injury, so he doesn't let this golden opportunity expire. That's a great story. I think you could tell that exact story really well with Chad Gable. Had Chad Gable won, we know that he's going to continue his storyline with the Wyatt Six. So if they did something to seriously injure him or incapacitate him or put him in a situation where he's unable to cash, we would then worry like, oh my God, is he going to lose his opportunity because of what the Wyatt Six did to him? Like, imagine we got a whole year around. We are back at the Money in the Bank event. And in the corner, there's just a little countdown clock letting you know the moment that that's going to expire. That would be pretty intense. I think he could have told this story really well with Drew McIntyre. I know Drew already cashed in, but there was rumors that he was going to win and get rid of the contract. Basically, the Money in the Bank briefcase cost him 2 world titles. So he hates this stipulation. So it would have been a great moment if Drew won the briefcase and said, I hate this. I will never use it, and threw it away. And then 11 months, 2 weeks go by, and Drew's not world champion. Will he stick to his morals and keep that briefcase thrown away, or will he dig it out of the trash and cash in at Money in the Bank? These are all great stories that if you add that time limit to it, it's going to be really exciting. It's going to take a long time to build to it, but I would love to see the threat of the briefcase expiring. Number 2, become champion without cashing in. So this is kind of the flip of the other thing that we just said, where we spent a whole year with the briefcase not getting a championship. What if the champion got the title without cashing in? Because I remember when Money in the Bank was first created and Edge was holding the briefcase, he got a title shot while he was holding the briefcase. I think he won like a Gold Rush tournament or something. And I remember being confused by that. I'm thinking, if he already has a title shot, why is he getting this other title shot? And they also did it with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was in that great triple threat match at the Royal Rumble against Cena and Brock Lesnar. I was there for that match. It was awesome. It would have been a very interesting situation if Seth Rollins had become champion and still held that briefcase. I think that'd be a great story for Jey Uso. Like, imagine Jey Uso wins the Money in the Bank briefcase and then goes on to earn a championship opportunity and beats Damian Priest to become champion. Now you're in a situation where you can try to take that title from him. But if you do, there's a good chance Jay's just going to lay you out and take it right back. It's like an emergency parachute for the champion that he would have at all times. Plus, if you make Jey Uso champion, you can kind of make him the head of a bloodline. Now he has his own goons. So you know if you beat Jey Uso, they're going to be on you like a pack of wolves and make sure he can cash in and get that title back immediately. Plus, the whole time, while Jey had that title over his shoulder and that briefcase in hand, people would compare him to Roman Reigns. But Roman, he had 2 titles. And Cody Rhodes, he's right over there. Do you cash in and hold both titles? Do you cause that panic to swell up again in the WWE where there's only one champion and they have to build another belt out of nothing? The idea that that would always be lurking in the background would tell such a great story that has yet to be explored. And you know what else hasn't been explored? All my upcoming shows. Let's pause this thought for a moment and let's plug in. This very Saturday, that is July 13th at 7:30 p.m., it is SPO Wrestling and the High Five presents Uneffin' Necessary. This will be SPO's first deathmatch show, so be sure to join us for this. It is a +18 event, but it's going to be fantastic at the Pine Grove Civic Center. That's 827 New Jersey Avenue in Gloucester City, New Jersey. And speaking of Gloucester City, New Jersey, the hometown boy, Pat Dynamite, will be trying to earn the #1 contendership for the SPO World Championship against Sonny Kiss. Plus, the tag team titles are on the line as the Rep from the High Five defend against the new Backseat Boys in 3 stages of death. The first stage is a first blood match. The second stage is a silver slaughter circus. And if it comes to a third fall, it is last man standing. Plus, that's not all. We will see the Pharaoh Face go one-on-one against Johnny Kashmere in the most dangerous match. The loser has to start an OnlyFans. What? That is what my script says. Yes, loser has to start an OnlyFans. That's a first-time match I've ever seen one. Fans bring the fans for the OnlyFans match. Who will start an OnlyFans? The only way to find out is to join us Saturday, July 13th at the Pine Grove Civic Center, or check out OnlyFans on the 14th. The very next day, that is July 14th, Labor of Love and LVAC present Comrades for Vlad. This is a benefit show for Vlad Ravenov, the former announcer for Chikara Pro Wrestling. This is going to be a fantastic time, so I highly recommend you come and join us at the Neshaminy Creek Brewing Company on the 14th of July. There you will see Worker Ant versus Ultimo Ant with special guest referee Electro Ant. Yes, the colony explodes in this matchup. Plus, see the team of Jet Jagori and Wild LLC team up with Common MK, Billy Avery, and a mystery partner. Plus, the Labor of Love Citywide Championship is on the line as Cheeseburger defends against Hollow Wicked. This is going to be a great show, and it's for a great cause, so be sure to join us in Neshaminy Creek on Sunday. Combat Zone Pro Wrestling continues the We Love Wrestling series and returns to Love Park for another free show on July 20th. Bell time is at 6 p.m. Doors don't open because it's Love Park and it's a free show. So if you enjoy free professional wrestling, I highly recommend you join us for this show, July 20th at 6 p.m. at Love Park. And CZW is also happy to announce its return to the Battleship New Jersey. August 4th at 4 p.m. Come aboard the Battleship New Jersey in Camden, New Jersey. Last time it was a fantastic and unique show, so join us aboard the ship for some Combat Zone Wrestling. You can get your tickets at czwrestling.com. Let's get back on the soapbox. Number 3, cash in for a unique title. So thanks to Austin Theory, we now know that you do not have to challenge for a major title. You can challenge for a mid-card title because Austin Theory, like an idiot, decided he was going to cash in and fail for the U.S. title. But that does open some very interesting doors. I think you can now do some very interesting things. Do I think you should cash in for a tag title shot? No. I think it's not hard to really earn a tag team opportunity, so I think that would kind of be a waste of a cash in. Do I think you should cash in for the Intercontinental title? No. Maybe if Sheamus won. If Sheamus won, I think you could tell a nice story of him cashing in for the IC title. But I don't think you should do that. But I think you could tell a really good story if Carmelo Hayes had won and cashed in on Trick Williams for the NXT title. That would be a very good story because, yes, NXT is kind of like the minor leagues, but the idea that his hatred for Trick was enough to make him go back and take something from him, that is a wonderful story to tell. And I would have loved to see that. There's also been a lot of talk of having someone cash in for a TNA title. Like if Chelsea Green had won the briefcase and gone and cashed in on Jordynne Grace. I think it doesn't make sense, but that's kind of the fun of it. Like Chelsea Green cashes in, takes the Knockouts title, and TNA's like, that's a WWE contract. We don't have to obey that. Give us that title back. And Chelsea Green's like, no. mine. I think that would be a really fun story. Also, I think they could have some fun with the idea that you could cash in the Money in the Bank for any title within 1 year. I think it would be a lot of fun if you had Drew McIntyre win and cash in the briefcase for the title of King of the Ring. The title of King. Cashes in on Gunther and takes his title opportunity at SummerSlam. I don't think that would have been very effective this year, but I think if you had a King of the Ring that was a super pain in the ass, just someone that was smug and constantly talking trash that everyone just hated and really screwed someone over in the tournament, to create that much hatred that you're willing to cash in your Money in the Bank on the King, I think that would be a fun story. And just the idea of the different use of the word title, the title of King, I think it could be fun. Again, I don't think they could pull it off this year, but in the future, you could write a nice story on a royal cash-in. Number 4, cash in an odd location. So I think they've done a really interesting thing with the rules of Money in the Bank. Like, you can cash in at any time, in any place, but you can't make the match. Like, you can't cash in for a ladder match. You can't cash in and say, oh, by the way, we're doing this in a cage. Unless there's some special situations, like RVD cashed in at One Night Stand, so it was Extreme Rules because all matches were Extreme Rules there. Braun cashed in at not Money in the Bank, at Hell in the Cell, so it was a Hell in the Cell match because he cashed in ahead of time and said, hey, this is going to be the main event, thus, we're doing this inside the cell. Let's not talk about how that match ended. I think you've created a very interesting rule there. But if the rule really states anywhere at any time, I would love to see someone cash in backstage. Like, as long as there's a referee present, they can ring the bell and start the match. If we're already backstage, it's a street fight, baby. I think that's a really interesting way to do things, is to have them cash in somewhere outside of the ring. Or hell, outside of WWE programming. There's a memory that lives in the back of the head that I often just kind of ponder, because it was a very interesting situation that we never actually got to see. There was a WCW World Heavyweight Championship match scheduled between Bret Hart and Kevin Nash on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. That match did not happen because of the unfortunate death of Owen Hart. But I've always wondered, what would that have meant for wrestling? To have a match outside of WCW programming on mainstream network television, where a lot of people just watch The Tonight Show but don't watch wrestling, and now it's being thrusted in front of them. So let's say Cody Rhodes is still champion. He's done it all, you know? He's been holding this title. He's made his father proud. He main evented WrestleMania 3 times now. There's just one thing he hasn't done yet, and that's host SNL. He goes to host SNL in New York City. But it's not about New York, no. It's about L.A. Knight. Yeah! L.A. Knight cashes in on SNL. Now, do I think this will ever happen? No. But I like the idea that there's a possibility of this. Like, you're not WWE champion only when you're on WWE TV. You're always the champion. So the idea that you can get cashed in on while you're throwing out the first pitch or making a Make-A-Wish is a real fun idea that they have yet to really play with. And even to just tease it, not even do it, but just tease it Oh, that's good fun. And the fact that it hasn't yet actually kind of confuses me. Let's at least tease a cash-in outside of WWE programming. Number 5, cash in during a match. The champion's not in. Let me paint a little picture for you, because we know that if you cash in during a match, it becomes a triple threat match. It doesn't end a match that is currently in progress. Our new Miss Money in the Bank is Io Sky. Io Sky is holding that briefcase. And you can see Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai kind of looking sideways at Io. Io's already been Miss Money in the Bank. She's already been champion. Why does she get to have the briefcase? When is it Kairi's time? When is it Dakota's time? And this anger and animosity just builds and builds and builds until we see Damage Control explode. It's just, they can't hold it anymore. And it leads to a triple threat match. Dakota versus Kairi Sane versus Io Sky. And you know what? With the destruction of Damage Control, Bayley's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do commentary. Because I started this group, they kicked me out, and now look at them. Look how dumb they are. See, they couldn't even get along without me. And the bell rings, and Io cashes in. And now it's a 4-way. Bayley defends the title against Io, against Dakota, against Kairi. And the moment the bell rings, all eyes fall on Bayley. It was a trap. It's basically a 3-on-1. That's a rough cash-in. Why not do that? Like, that is such a great conniving heel move. And, like, you could erase it later. Like, no, you can't do that anymore. You can't force the champion to join a match, you know. Kind of like the Outlaw rule when Billy Gunn pinned the Road Dogg to retain the titles. I think you can create a lot of interesting situations. Think back to War Games, when Damian Priest was going to cash in during War Games. What an amazing opportunity that would be. I don't even know what that would have looked like. Does that mean anyone within War Games could have walked away with the championship? Could someone pin Damian Priest and take the title away from Cody? And then we'd have Jey Uso as champion? We don't know. If I was Mr. Money in the Bank and the Royal Rumble was coming up, if those 29 other men were like, hey, we'll each give you $500 if you cash in during the Rumble, so we all have a chance to walk away as champion. That's some good collaborative heel work. It'd be a very sudden risk that has been thrusted upon the Royal Rumble that no one knew was coming. Oh my God, this one's for the title. You can do a lot of things with that briefcase. You just have to think outside the box. And for some reason, no one holding that briefcase does that. They're like, let's just cash in when the champ's down. Or, I'm a good guy. I'm going to let them know I'm cashing in so I can lose on Raw 1000. There's a lot to be done with that briefcase. And I know the WWE doesn't like the idea of two people having the briefcase at once. That's why you're almost always guaranteed a cash in at Money in the Bank these days. But it's a great stipulation. You just gotta stop and think about it every once in a while. So what do you think? Are these any good ideas? Do you have your own idea of what you think should be a fun little twist that you can do with the stipulation of being Mr. or Miss Money in the Bank? Let me know in the comments down below. And while you're down there, you'll see a little thing that says subscribe that should have done a little animation when I said that word. It reacts to my voice now. Isn't that cool? Give that a click as well so you'll get a notification next time I have enough power to upload one of these videos. And I hope you have a great day.